When did you book the permit for, Shad?
June the 1st.
Tuesday.
Chad, did you say?
Yep.
Robinson. Robertson or Robinson?
Robinson.
No worries.
Hey Chad, you think they've got a fine here? They don't believe you.
Sir. Don't know what it's booked under, but it's Chad Robinson.
Sir Chad, no, I mean, he says you put down Sir Chad. Sir Chad Robinson he put down. You definitely booked it online.
I wasn't staying here the other night.
You got a camping permit leaflet? I'll just leave that with you, sir, okay? And that explains what it's all about.
Right.
Okay.
Can I have
Are you
one?
filming us?
Yeah,
Why?
because I've had a bad experience with your Rangers before.
One of the reasons that
I'm not okay with you filming.
It doesn't matter, you're in public, so that's how it works.
No, I'm fine, you film.
Thank
That's
you.
Fine. That's fine.
Listen, see if you're doing a good job, I promise you I will promote you to all my friends for doing a good job. I have nothing against Rangers. I'm a fan of Rangers, but no bad Rangers.
Okay.
I'm disabled, and I had a hammock up, and they made me take the rain cover down, and I said the rain cover's up in case it rains, and they called it a bivouac.
That's right.
That's right.
A bivouac.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is this a new word we're using now for people who have got a rain cover over their hammock?
So you heard of a bivy bag?
Of course I have.
Yeah, so that bivvy's just a short.
But I'm allowed to put a hammock up during the day, and I am disabled. So if I put a rain cover over so the rain doesn't get on it, that's perfectly okay. I'm not sleeping in it. I've got a camper van with a double bed. So it's okay to have a rain cover over it, but I was made to take it down.
But this gentleman was sleeping on it.
Sorry?
This gentleman was sleeping
No one was sleeping in it. He was in Dumfries. And I told them 3 times in 3 different occasions, there's no one sleeping in it.
Do you want my work number to see what days I work?
I-
Because I drive 150.
So what I'm saying is, so whatever I'm saying is true, then you understand why I'm now taping, why I'm now recording things, because I think it's ridiculous. I'm a disabled person and I think I've been treated really badly. I mean, people should supposed to, when you say to somebody 3 times in a row, look, come on, see my double bed. Why would I sleep in a hammock when I've got a double bed?
Well, I was here on Friday and Saturday.
Uh-huh.
Saturday night,
Yeah.
this gentleman's car was here.
Saturday night.
Friday and Saturday night.
And what you saying about it?
And this gentleman was sleeping in that hammock, wasn't he?
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
What's he bought a permit for?
He's bought a permit because he come back on Tuesday. He was working.
I saw that car here on Friday and Saturday night.
I've been here 3 nights.
No, so
3
I've seen
nights
it.
or something.
So let's say he was sleeping in the caravan. So let's say he was sleeping in the camper van with me. Have you got a problem with that?
None of my business.
Exactly. So why are you questioning me when I tell you he wasn't sleeping in the hammock?
Right, well, I'll take your word for it, sir.
You've got to. So why is this the 4th time now that somebody says to me, "Are you sleeping in that hammock?" And honestly, 4 times I says, "No, I'm not sleeping in the hammock. I'm sleeping in the double bed." Could easily come back at night and check if I'm in the hammock, but nobody does. And I'll say it again. Why would I want to leave my hammock up and take it in all day for showers?
I don't want to interrupt you, but I'll let you know that a hammock overnight with a tarpaulin requires a permit, okay? A hammock overnight with a tarpaulin requires a permit.
Okay, but see during the day, why do I need to take it down during the day? Well, your Rangers made me, and there's a police officer with him called Lyle or something.
Right.
Oh, you know about it? Were you
I
there?
haven't heard, but I know who Lyle is.
Right, well, he was with him taking it, and he made me take it down. Well, if it's okay during the day, then I should have been left alone. I mean, we do know about Scottish showers. I mean, and even the sun, if the sun's out, it covers me for the sun too when I'm relaxing.
But are you aware of the management laws that are in place? And
I've had this conversation. They're called acts and statutes, right? And I don't consent to acts and statutes. I only consent to. Sorry?
that's irrelevant.
I think you better go and check that seriously.
So I'm quite aware of freeman on the land sort of
I'm not
stuff.
talking about a free man. I'm talking about I don't consent to statutes and acts, and that should be the end of it.
So-
I'm
so
not breaking
that-
any laws.
So you are confused on that, which is fine.
Come on, tell me how I'm confused.
So that isn't how the law works, and whether or not you consent to it or not is irrelevant. So that's just how the laws work, unfortunately. So what my question
No,
is...
it is not a law, it is an act, it is a statute. They are acts of parliament, they are not laws.
I would highly recommend just double checking that. So
I would highly recommend you double check, because I've checked it a few times, and see if I was wrong. The police would have done something the other night when I was telling them I don't consent.
So is that when the police asked you to take everything down?
No.
Okay. So the
What I'm
point...
saying is, I told the police I didn't consent and they couldn't do nothing. The hammock stayed up, and I stayed here.
Sorry, I thought you just told me the police made you take down the hammock.
Take down the rain cover.
Okay. So,
The rain cover or the sun cover, whatever you want to call it. The point is, see if I'm lying in the hammock and it's kind of showery day, why would I not put a rain cover over it?
So my question to you is, if you're aware of the management rules that are here, why do you choose to come to a management site? So there's some 4% of the national park that's covered by these laws. There are dozens
These
of sites...
statutes and acts are not laws. Please be,
Loch
please.
and the Trossachs National Park bylaws.
Bylaws, that's right.
So
Bylaws, they're not laws. LAWS. Please check this.
No, so I'm afraid to inform you that they are. So
I'm
they're
afraid to
bylaws.
inform you that they're not, or something else would have happened.
Regardless of whether or not you believe bylaws are laws,
Okay.
My question is, why do you choose to come to an area that you understand having these tents up causes an issue, causes conflict, causes you to get in trouble?
I've not had a tent up.
So you had the hammock that there was the issue with, correct?
Yeah, and I was lying in my hammock because
My
I'm
question
disabled.
is, why not go to a site that's out with the management zone?
Are you asking me to stop coming here because I've met some bad rangers?
So my question to you is, why, if you have a bad influence...
Because this is my country, I can go wherever I like, and I choose to come here because it's a lovely place, regardless of what you think.
You have access. You have a right to responsible access, like everybody else in our country.
Under the Human Rights Act, I have a right to roam wherever I want to go.
That is also incorrect. So you have...
Article 8 of the Human Rights Act, I can assure you, give me freedom to go wherever I want to go.
That's not true.
Okay.
So you have access rights, like everybody else in Scotland, under the Scottish Outdoor Access Code, which gives you a right to responsible access, and nobody is disputing, which you are completely allowed to enjoy to its fullest extent. My question is, if you are have such an issue with the rangers, why do you choose to come to a site that's almost guaranteed to cause an issue with the rangers? So
I don't understand what you mean by an issue with the rangers.
So you're aware that having the tent, the hammock with the rain cover up is against our bylaws?
No, I did not. No, I did not.
Are you aware of that now?
Yes, I am now. But wait a minute, as I said to you again, I don't accept that, okay? And my point is, I'm lying in my hammock, which is perfectly legal, okay? Even your rangers have admitted that. And if I want to put a rain cover over it to stop the rain getting on it, I can do that. Yeah. I'm disabled.
But not overnight, you can't.
But I didn't do it overnight.
Now you know.
But I'm saying, the point is, I wasn't doing it overnight.
So that's right.
I've got a double bed, but they still made me take it down even though I wasn't doing it overnight.
Well, that's not us. So we've come to find...
That's why, I'm saying it again, that's why I'm now recording, because I've had a bad situation with what I've come to decide is bad rangers. I said to you, I'm a fan of rangers. I'm a fan of good rangers.
You were extremely hostile to us the second we walked over.
Because I've had a bad experience, and I thought you were over to give my friend a bad experience, even though he's booked.
So we were coming over to ask about the hammock. And
Uh-huh.
at this point, we found that there's a permit, so everything's good.
Yeah, you phoned up, etc., and then you come back and says, well, blah, 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 blah. And I said that to you. I says, I'm a fan of good rangers, and you asked why I was taping, and I told you why I was taping, and I'll tell you, it's online if you'd like to look and see it and make your own mind up.
Sorry, what's online?
The video of how I was harassed by the police and the rangers.
What's it under?
It's under police harassment.
Police harassment?
Yeah, Owen Curley. It's on YouTube.
And is this like a YouTube channel that you have? Or?
No, I put it on a few YouTube channels, actually. I put it on police corruption channels and things like that.
Can I ask what you think the Rangers are trying to achieve?
I think the Rangers are here to make sure that everybody has a good holiday, right? And to use common sense and to basically try and be helpful to people. For instance, they made a mum and her two kids leave here at 9:10 the other night. because she didn't have a permit. But she had tried to book online several times, and she had spent 4 hours putting her tent up, and her kids thought she was the most wonderful person in the world. And you tell me a ranger couldn't say, listen, I know you think etc. Your scenery will be here, but I'll tell you what I'll do with you. I'll come in the morning, and as long as you're gone, that'll be fine.
So,
would that not be a nicer thing to do with a human being?
my understanding is that's mostly how ranger services work, and I have worked.
But that's
with
what I'm saying to you. And see the ranger service that do that, I'm so happy. But see the ones that make people move at 10 tonight with 2 kids, I'm not in support of them. And I watched it, I witnessed it.
So if we were to make judgment calls and let people stay based on how what
Common sense.
Okay, so how do we then explain to others that they have to move on? Like how would you? So
Because you use common sense. See in the cases where it's people doing stuff that they shouldn't really be doing. Listen, guys, I'm sorry, but we're not accepting that.
yeah,
Right? See if it's people out with 2 kids, etc. See if it's an old man and he's lying in his hammock, right? Leave him lying in his hammock. He's an old disabled man, he's no born around. See when we arrived here, me and my friends, by the way, last week, we cleaned the full place up.
that's
right?
excellent. Yeah.
No, it's not because, I was only saying it because, see me at Raby go, we're really respectful, right? See along there, I gathered a bit. You've come here all the time, go and find some fucking toilet paper along there now. Because I've lifted it all and burnt it.
We have done a lot of litter picking along the shore.
That's my
ourselves.
point.
Yeah.
See if I see a shit, I don't go, oh there's somebody's shit. This is what I do. And I cover up the fucking shit.
So again, the question I'm getting to.
Do you get my point? My point is, I'm in fanny Rangers. No bad Rangers that make an old man take his rain cover down,
We used to ask
or make
people to
2
use
people,
common sense.
or make 2 people
That's
move
why the
it,
bylaws
or
came
make
in,
2
'cause they
people
wouldn't
move at
do
10
that.
to 9 at night.
Yeah, so this is our problem is that although it does seem that you're being very reasonable, if we allow you to stay, then how do we move the next person along? And if we allow them to stay, how do we move the next
But you
person
do
along?
do that sometimes. You do that. I've seen you doing it, and I've seen you letting people put gazebos up and no saying a word and walking right by them. And I'm not going to say who's done it, but I'm telling you I've watched it.
Okay.
So if I've watched that happen, and then somebody stands and makes me do my rain cover, how do you think it makes me feel?
Awful. I
Yes.
think that would be a bad way to manage things, and it's not.
And
how
it's
the Ranger
and it's
Service
happened,
operates.
and I've witnessed it. But I'm not going to turn and say, oh, this ranger done that, or this ranger, because in my belief is, see the rangers that let the gazebo stay up, they were using common sense. They were saying, no, people are using that to keep out the rain, keep their stuff dry, etc., etc., etc. There's their tents, they're no sleeping in it.
So
So as I say again, right, see in that instance, everybody would agree, using common sense, even though they shouldn't technically have a gazebo up, it's not a big...
So for a long time we allowed people to operate on common sense along here, and we ended up with the lands completely trashed, with trees cut down, with holes in the trees, with people getting assaulted, with antisocial behaviour left, right and centre. So you telling me, I would say that your experience just isn't as extensive as somebody who works here.
Well-
And I would say that unfortunately, although I would love to just default to common sense, it has failed repeatedly, and unfortunately we've had to bring in management laws. And now that the management laws are in place, there's no leeway in the same way. Unfortunately, the few have ruined it for the many, and the long and short of it is that we now have to restrict.
But that's
everything.
not how the law works. You can't punish everybody for what a few do.
So think
So,
about,
wait a minute, let me finish, you've had your talk.
Fair.
So what I'm trying to say is, see them that trash the place and assault one another, they still come here. They still book tickets here and they still trash the place. So that for that point of view, it's no worked.
So we've got.
Come on, let me finish. You've had your say.
Fair play.
Now, see these guys that you're talking about that turn up and fucking burn their tents and ever. It doesn't matter what management place you put in place. They people will still do it, regardless. And they will not buy permits, etc., etc. So the good are being punished for the few. And that's not what you do. You don't punish the good people for what the bad people do. That's not what you do.
As an analogy, think about. Of
course I will.
Think about knife laws.
Uh-huh.
So I'm a wild camper. I'm a bushcraft instructor. I think it makes
Good.
a lot of sense for people to use and have knives as
Certainly.
tools. They're
Yeah.
extremely useful things.
Uh-huh.
However, a very select number of people cannot be trusted to have.
That's
knives.
right.
So we had to introduce laws to restrict the carrying of knives. Now, as somebody who uses it as a tool, this can be frustrating. It can be very annoying. However, it doesn't take long to reflect on the fact that actually, maybe we should restrict knives, because although it's only a very few number of people that are causing the damage that they're causing is very significant and very problematic. And I see the camping exactly the same. So as I say, don't get me wrong, I love our outdoor access code. I love that we have access rights in our country, and I want to protect them. But they've failed in the national park, and what we have to do is come in with a bit more of a heavy-handed approach and use laws to try and help us.
Okay,
give us
okay.
some teeth.
Well, look. See, at my age, I've been coming here before there was ever a traffic park management scheme, right?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it's a beautiful part of the country. But see, Callander, see Loch, Libnig, you wouldn't believe the state that used to be in years ago, right?
Yeah.
But I think it got worse for the car park in, because when I came there before, it wasn't as bad as it was. So it's a yin and a yang thing.
Absolutely.
But I'll still say again, right? If somebody's walking up to somebody, a woman at 10 at night, 9 at night, has spent 4 hours, any human being has got to go, look, okay, stay the night. It's a lovely night. You're doing everything right. You have tried to book. I understand that. It's a quiet night. Please, 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 if I come in the morning, please don't be here, because I'd need to say to you then.
What's so strange for me hearing you is that, as somebody who works in this job, this is how we deal with people. This is how we operate.
I know, I've met rangers before, but I'm telling you what I have witnessed in the last week. And listen, I'm not picking, as I said, I'm not naming MD, and I could. No, but I'm just saying to you, that's why when you come over, my back's up, I start recording, etc, etc, etc. And I said to you right at the start, I'm a fan of Rangers.
Okay.
You know,
I probably had my back up a little bit because I was a bit on edge with the fact
I
that
know.
you were filming me from the get-go.
Well, as I say, my back's been on edge for it made me take my rain cover down. Because see, being disabled, and I even say I've got a disabled sticker, I've got rights, you know.
Yeah.
And see, for the point of view that if I turn and say to you, for instance, I'm not sleeping that, you have no right to take that any further. No use, police, MD. You've got to respect me. I could be using that to put a fucking catheter in.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And you tell me I can't fucking cover myself up when I'm doing it. And I'm not saying I was, but I'm just giving you an example. Another thing I pointed out to these guys as well was this. See if I'm not making this up. I said, see if a mother comes with her 2 young boys and she wants to get them, she wants to put a tent up to get them undressed to go into water. Right? That shouldn't be an issue. And do you know what Lyle said? I was wrong, she was the tent in the car when the kids are, I goes, wait a minute, are you really saying she's to let the kids get changed, go in the water, take the tent down, put it in the car, see the kids want to come out of the water and put the clothes back on. She's to go and get the tent, bring it out, put it up. I says, that's nonsense in any planet in the world. That's just nonsense. He goes, well, that's what you done, well,
I mean, I'm not going to comment on what other Rangers or
what,
people have
and
said.
I'm not asking you to. What I'm saying to you is, I've videotaped this. I've videotaped it. I've videotaped me saying 3 different times to them, look, I don't sleep in it. I sleep in the bed.
So, how if you were in our position,
Yep.
do you think that some people might be less than honest about that?
Yes, definitely.
How would we tell them apart? How do we tell?
Well, it's not your job to tell them apart.
It's our job.
You said if I was looking at it from your point of view, I would look at it as this. I've got to treat everybody with the same respect I want to treat myself, right? So therefore, I don't go for the point of view that everybody's lying to me. I go for the point of view that everybody's telling the truth, right? Now, see the people who will lie to you, they'll lie to you regardless, right? And the only way you're going to catch them is to come down after 9. And they're stuck. But actually, you can't say, well, I'm leaving at 11. You know, the liars will lie to you anyway, regardless. Mm-hmm. But see, if you let it put your back up, then it starts staining your soul. Then it starts tipping the balance where you start thinking everybody's like that. And then you hear other stories about certain people who'd wrecked the place and cut down trees, and you start thinking, well, I need to watch, oh, they're young. You know what I'm saying? The ball starts rolling the other way. Honest to God, I was a counsellor and a therapist for 40 years. I'm telling you this. I'm the first person to turn and say, great job, lads. You know? But when
We've got a job to do and we're going to do it. And that's how it is.
I know, but you've got to use common sense in your life.
If people are using common sense to us, we'll apply it back.
But see the way you're saying that, that's antagonistic. It's like, well, if they're no fair with us, we'll not be fair. Look, let me say something to you. See, if people aren't using common sense with you, right? That's their problem, no yours. You should be going out every day, happy, a fantastic job. My God, this is a job, and I mean it with the greatest respect, right?
It's not a
So,
bad job.
and listen,
Why?
see in all walks of life, you're going to meet people that aren't going to be nice to you. It's just going to happen. But what I'm trying to say is, you can't take it into yourself, well, if they're laughing at me, I'll be laughing at them. You're supposed to say to yourself, oh, God loved them, they must have issues in their life. Oh, God loved them, they had a hard time. But you don't need to be like that back.
Well, I'm always trying to be gentle with people.
Yeah.
Always try to be gentle with people.
My favourite metaphor in life is this. If you can only be one thing in life, be kind. And if we all done that, and I'm saying, now I'm talking about specific cases, a lassie with 2 wains, right? I thought that was overboard. And if you and I were sitting in a pub, you would agree with me. Absolutely, but that particular case.
So as I've said, I don't recognise that as a way that Rangers would operate. So I mean, what
Well, I'm telling
your encounter is unfortunate. but-
Exactly. I'm saying, I know loads of good Rangers.
Yeah,
I've been in Dumfries and Galway for years. And I'm saying my other encounter was with myself. I'd already said to you more than once in one time, look, I'm not sleeping in this. I'm sleeping in my van. Come on, I'll show you my double bed.
Yeah.
Right? So it stayed for 3 or 4 days, and then the other night turned up with a post, and I watched them. They were made right for me, and as I'm sitting there, I went like that, click. And the post said to me, whose is the hammock? I goes, it's mine, officer. I've got a disabled badge on my van. I says, and I'm using it during the day, and that's just a rain cover. Well, unfortunately, it's a bivouac.
Yeah.
And I'm a bushcrafter as well.
Yeah.
And I went, we moved to America, like, is that what we're saying, bivouac now? Is that serious? Right? So they goes, well, you know, under the laws, unfortunately. I goes, no, listen, I'm telling you right now, I'm disabled, that's my rain cover, but you sleeping at night? I went, no, this is a video online. This isn't me just saying, oh, well,
No, that's fine.
well, what I'm trying to say to you is, so see from that point of view, after about 20 minutes, when I go, and you know, they stood on me and watched me taking it down. They couldn't even fuck. I mean, all these people were sitting here, and I had to literally take it down in front of them, right?
So
And I said to him at the end, I goes, are you happy, boys? Is that what your job entails? Making the disabled man take his rain cover off his hammock. Is that it? And they all walked away, and I goes, you should be ashamed. And I said this to Leo and the two of them, you should be ashamed of yourself. That's no how you treat the public.
it's not what we want to be.
Of course not. And that's why I'm saying, when you come over, I went, oh, here we go again. Honest to God, and I'm sorry, I know you're a nice guy, I can tell, right? And I know you're a nice guy, and I understand how you...
to tell.
But it's like the rest of us. See if somebody gives somebody, you know, you got to actually just listen to the other person and go, well, why is he being like that?
Yeah. No, I
You know?
appreciate that.
And I'm telling you, I swear to God, right? There's bad Rangers as well as good.
I definitely would not question that. I'm sure there
Right?
are. Yeah.
And I promise you this, see this scene, I will keep it, but I'll not put it online. And do you know why I'll keep it? See if I do see a bad Ranger, I'm going to turn and say, no, wait a wee second. I'll show you what a good Ranger does.
Yeah.
They listen to you, they take on board what you're saying. They don't not necessarily need to agree with you. They might think, well, you're an arsehole for fucking doing that, right? But the point is, I'm allowed to be an arsehole.
I mean,
See, you get it, you know.
I can't disagree with that. Yeah.
I used to train people to deal with the public, and I always say this, I promise you this. See, within a couple of years, you'll get to hate the public.
Yeah.
It's not the public's fault, it's your fault.
Okay.
Because you let it get inside you.
Yeah.
The public are assholes regardless of whether you're working or no. The public will come out here and shit all over the place regardless of whether you're working or no.
Yeah, they will.
But what you don't say to yourself is, oh shit, I'll watch them, and you know, that serves you. You can only do so much, and your job is to go up and say, listen,